Hello, I'm Matty Simon, founder and CTO of Checkmarx. I'm happy to introduce this video that will hopefully educate you about one of the most common yet dangerous hacks, SQL injections. We will demonstrate what is a SQL injection attack, what are its consequences, how it can be detected and then prevented. SQL injection is an attack that allows a malicious user to manipulate SQL statements within an application and modify its action. For business, SQL injection is one of the most common methods of data theft, as demonstrated by the attack on Heartland Payment Systems that caused credit card exposure. This is a typical login screen. John Doe, a standard user, tries to log in with a username and an incorrect password. His credentials are sent to the web server, where an SQL statement is created by concatenating the received information. The statement is then executed on the user's table to find a match for username and password. Since his credentials are wrong, no results were returned, and the web server denies access to the user. In our second case, the user knows he doesn't have the username or password, but he is malicious enough to bypass this by using the SQL injection technique. Instead of typing a valid name, he types an always true SQL statement. When the server concatenates the fake name, the resulting query will return all the records in the database. The server verifies that the query returned results and allows the user to log in without having the proper credentials. Needless to say that once a hacker can improperly log into the application, the damage caused could be extensive. In order to find such vulnerability in the source code, the developer might choose to use a source code analysis product like Checkmarx to scan the code and locate all possible flaws. The developer chooses what vulnerabilities to detect, SQL injection, and then launches the scan. The scan reveals all flaws and then presents for each flaw a complete path in the code vulnerable to SQL injection. We can go through the path while following the exact locations in the code. Clicking at the beginning of the path, we see the input is retrieved from the login name text box. It is then sent as a third parameter of DLOOKUP. Then it is concatenated into the SQL variable without being sanitized properly. This completes the path, or the proof, of the existence of SQL injection. How can you avoid SQL injection? There are three ways to prevent it. The first possibility is also the most recommended. Let's see how we do it. The problematic code concatenates inputs from the user into an SQL statement without sanitizing it properly. This code is vulnerable. To fix it, we use parameterized queries or prepared statements, defining the structure of the statements with placeholders for the data itself. This separates data from executable code and completely avoids SQL injection. Once we change the code from string concatenation into parameterized queries, the hacker is unable to hack into the system and your data will be safeguarded.